Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, to Non-Binary Past episode 387 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander, and I'm joined this week by one Mr. Daffy Moody.
Hey, diddly do, everybody, it's Friday. You know what that means. It's the video game day. It's the most holiest of days. And I hope everyone is well.
And we're also joined by Mr. Vitz Patel.
What's good, gamers? Hope you're doing well out there in listener land.
Well, yeah, I'm doing good. It's nice to be back to normal with this damn thing, with this damn podcast.
Normal.
Just with the podcast.
Yeah.
Like different
With the news, it's normal as well. So, you know.
It's business as usual, isn't it?
It really, really is.
Yeah, it is. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. We're fighting our various illnesses, but, you know, we're out there and we're fighting like a champ.
Good. I'm glad you don't. To be honest, you don't seem sick. Like
Okay, hiding it well then.
Like I don't know how you feel, but you seem fine.
There you go. I'll take it.
I'm Moody. How you doing?
Monkey dory.
Hunky
Crack
dory.
on. Go into work. Come home. Take the dog out. Feed the dog. Play with the dog. Then somehow, after playing with the dog, I try and play video games.
Somehow play a video.
Oh,
game.
the crosses that you bear.
I know. It's real hardships here.
Oh, I don't know. I just never seem to find the time for video games.
Oh, I find time. I just have to. I have to sort out the diva first, and then I have my time.
Again, you have time for one game and one game only.
Exactly.
It
I
starts
play.
with-
I am reviewing a new game. Okay, I played it. Okay.
Yeah. This will get them off my back for a month.
Yeah, there you go.
So this new game, Football Manager.
See, there's a new one coming out this year. I need to play the old one extensively so I can know what the changes are.
Exactly. The worst thing is the next game is like changing a lot apparently. And I'm just like, well, I'm learning for no reason.
God, it's gonna be like Moody's finally gonna take me up on the offer. Like, you know, you can do like if you want to make a video for the YouTube channel, you know, you can make a video about it, you know, anytime you want. And he's finally gonna take me up on the offer, and it's gonna be a 6-hour comparison between football managers.
I'll do a playthrough of it on your YouTube if you want.
That's what you're doing right now, isn't it? Just catching all the footage.
600 hours of B-roll.
Yeah,
That's why I buffer all the time now.
it's still
It's a
going.
lag.
It's still going.
Yeah.
I'm simulating like 10 different games all at once.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh God. So how's everybody else's week been? I mean, we recorded on Sunday, so not a full week.
It's been fun. To be fair, that episode was so much fun to record, and just going through what people's lists are and seeing how the league is already shaping up. So at the time recording, bids are revealed at midnight. I think it's going to be intense as to who's throwing their fake money down already, kind of thing.
You keep saying that, but I know I haven't made any bids, and I don't think Moody's made any bids. I don't think Keith is aware that the game has started yet.
That's true, but it's been good. Been playing a few games and whatnot. We're excited to talk about a few of them today, and so whilst the industry and the world at large is on fire, it's been okay.
Oh God, yeah. Like the culture shock between spending an entire week watching games done quick and then picking up my phone and being like, "Wow, that was fun!" Like, let me just check in on what's been going on. Oh, what's this new game everybody's been talking about? Was an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to ignore the games industry for a week. You should definitely do it more
Seriously, I don't mind not being on social media. You know, it's like it's really kind of very oblivious to a lot of things. So it's like it's beautiful. It really is. Even if it's a giant slap in the face when I get the news and whatnot, I'm just like, when did this happen? 2 weeks ago. Well, shit.
You have the condensed version of the experience where it's like, you know.
Oh yeah, true.
It's like
Vitz
drinking
is,
neat Ribena.
Vitz is still on Twitter, so he's got the fully diluted version where he just takes it as it comes. I get the stuff that rises so high it ends up on Bluesky, and
Yeah.
then you get everything all at once on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes like there is obviously news I have which is in the doc and everything about through LinkedIn and everything, because I chat through people through there and everything, just because that's where I chat through people who are in the industry and about jobs and everything, who are looking for jobs. And I obviously retweet as much as I can, or retweet or repost a lot of the stuff I can who are looking for jobs, just to try and like see if anyone finds anything or whatnot. But yeah. I don't know anything about this Pokemon thing.
I know things. Vitz knows more.
I hear that line from Blade
Vitz,
Runner. I've seen.
I've
things.
seen stuff. I'm interested. I'm excited to hear Vitz tell me about it.
There you go. Strapping gamers.
Excited is excited the right word?
I mean, there'll be some words and there'll be about some games, so that's all I can promise you at this point.
I don't like. I never. If you had asked me at the end of last year, hey, do you think we'll be talking about this Palworld game on the podcast next year? I would have said no. It doesn't look like anything any of us would play.
Only in the sense that all the team got laid off after the game like flopped.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get there, everybody. We'll get there.
We'll get there. It's fine. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I haven't really done much since Sunday to comment on. Like, normally I'm bringing something completely unrelated to video games with me.
Amy, you're surviving and thriving. I think that's more than enough.
I was editing some video on Monday.
There you go.
We saw the evidence.
Wait, there was evidence? I left evidence?
You tweeted it, didn't you? No, you shared it in our Discord, didn't you?
I shared a bit, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I'm well ahead of that point now. The bit that I shared, yeah. I forgot I did that. Oh, yeah. The first 9 minutes. Oh. It's looking long. It's looking pretty long.
What she said.
Oh, man. I wrote a part of the script where it was like, and I thought, this is going to be a great idea, and I can visualize it in my head, and I can see it. And then it was like getting to that point, and I was like, this requires me to like layer into the timeline. I have 40 images. Like 40 images to appear, but not sequentially. So like one would, and then the next one would, but the first one would still be on the screen. And my computer was like, no.
Too many
what
layers.
are you talking about?
The girl, you crazy.
Are you fucking nuts? And I was like, yeah, actually, I should have really realized that going in, that I wasn't going to be able, my computer wasn't going to be able to handle that. So I did have to sort of figure something out for that. And then I ended up thinking, just cut the whole thing out. Video editing. Apparently, I'm at the stage of my video essay journey where I'm writing scripts that require supercomputers to edit.
Just on the phone to IBM. Yeah, I need a favor.
Hi, can I borrow at NASA?
Yeah,
can I just borrow your computers for about an hour?
That's it. I mean, the stars aren't going anywhere. That's it. Give me the server time, please.
Some of them are.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but it isn't because of us.
No.
No, well, theory of relativity. It might be because of us. We just wouldn't know it yet.
There you go.
Oh, really?
I mean, fucked up everything else.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
Like,
why not fuck up space?
Yeah, let's fuck up space. Next target, space. We've had 2 storms in the last week. I hate it. I hate having to go outside and it's like 600-mile-an-hour winds or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Every like wheelie been doing the best Mary Poppins impression around all over the place.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And then it's like, oh, all the public transport's delayed because of the wind. And it's just like, oh my God, man. I'm stuck in this fucking place. And then you go to a metro station and it's a big wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, but friends, we hope you and everyone that you know and love are doing okay in these weathering times that we're having.
I wonder what could be causing it.
Who knows?
Fake. It's fake news.
I wish. That would be great. I think that's how fake news...
The people who are causing it, that's fake news.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant.
Totally fake.
It's like,
Do you think that's why it like...
there's
so many
no
people-
evidence of us doing this.
Just like the idea of him going, I looked outside my window, it's perfectly 92 degrees here in Florida, everything's fine.
My tan is beautiful because of this.
It's like, well, it's not cold where I am. And then you go, where are
There you
you?
go.
And they go, I'm in New Zealand. All right, okay. It's a bit hot, actually. I thought global warming was supposed to make everything hotter. People. Do you think so many people like fall into that trap not because they both think global warming is a myth or whatever, but because they want it to be, because the truth is just worse?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a sense of people just like burying their head in the sand and just thinking, whatever reality I need to be in order to make this like survivable, and so I don't have a meltdown, I'm gonna just go with that. Whatever you say, yeah, cool. It sounds cool.
I mean, I can see it. Because it's like, if I accept reality, things aren't great.
There you go.
But there's
that-
this
look,
other
I-
person offering a different type of reality.
But Amy, I can Google a picture of an iceberg. They're still there. They haven't gone anywhere. It's fact. It's science. It's on the internet. It must be
If
true.
the icebergs are melting, what the Titanic hit?
There you go.
Globally.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Well,
Then just hit thin air.
What was the other one? Oh, if it was for the cabbages, it would have floated. Because cabbages can't sing.
what?
All you need were like 3,000 cabbages. You would have been fine.
No, I ain't heard that one. So that's it. We just pack all of our boats with cabbages.
I mean, who needs lifeboats? Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Cabbages.
Exactly.
just cabbages.
Speaking of cabbages, did anyone see the live action trailer of Last Airbender? Please say one of you saw it.
I have not.
Well, you both
Netflix.
suck. That's
Did-
not my
did they-
fault.
Did they bend the air?
The trailer is on YouTube.
Okay, but why would I watch a trailer
Oh, is
for
that-
something
is
I'm
that
not going
with-
to watch?
Is that with Daniel Day Kim?
No idea.
Okay.
I don't know. The cartoon was good.
It really was. And the trailer looked really good as well.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even know I didn't even know that was a trailer.
Yeah. The teaser trailer came out ages ago. And it was just like, But then the trailer came out like yesterday or a couple of days ago. And it was really good. I can't deny that.
Awesome.
Yeah, apparently he's playing Firelord
Oh,
Ozai.
so that's who the person you're on. Yeah,
That
he's playing Fire.
explains so many memes I've seen in the last few days.
There you go.
Of him with a giant six-pack looking hunky as hell and
Yeah,
he's
well,
just staring down.
He does do that.
Oh, hell
he
yeah.
does
He's a
indeed.
hunky. He's a gorgeous looking man. There's no doubt about that.
No, I saw one that stuck in my mind because it was really funny. Like, because he was in that TV show with the doctor, the kid
Doctor Who?
doctor who has autism.
Oh,
who's
yeah,
autistic,
yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff going around about how terrible that was. And but he was like his boss, and everybody was like justice for Daniel Day Kim's character because Daniel Day Kim's character didn't like the good doctor person. And I saw a meme of Daniel Day Kim with the thing going, he's about to fuck that doctor up. And I thought it was funny, and now I understand it because now I know where it came from.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't get memes these days, so it's all right. But no, yeah.
I just had to drill through like
it's a good trailer.
3 layers of social media discourse to get to.
Yeah,
To get
It's 6
to it.
degrees of Daniel Day Kim.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's it's a fun. It looked good. Me and my partner were gonna give it a go. So
Well, that's assuming that Netflix hasn't made it like stupidly expensive to actually watch the series by the time it comes out. But we'll see.
I can't do anything about that.
Tax write off in it. It's the world we live in now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Costs you costs you 20 quid a month to watch Netflix, and then they write off all your stuff. Or
I
just
mean, why do you
cancel it
think-
after one season.
Why do you think so many people are watching One Piece? They're learning the ways of the high seas in order to get their content going forwards. Allegedly,
They didn't realize that you could become rubber if you became a pirate. So, yeah. No, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it looked good. Compared to that fucking M. Night Shyamalan trailer film was just no.
That set the bar low, as I understand it.
Oh god, the worst thing is though, I say it all the time. The teaser trailer for that was one of the best teaser trailers I ever saw. I thought it was amazing. The teaser trailer. I thought this is a badass teaser trailer. I can appreciate you're going to maybe change things up. I can accept that. I have no problem with that. If we've got the awesomeness that was the animated show, you know what I mean? So change things up is absolutely fine. Don't know why they changed the names. Don't know why they went most.
They changed the names.
Yeah, well, instead of saying Ang, they went Ong.
Ong.
Oh,
Ong.
Ong.
Did he say yop yop when he got on?
I don't know. I can't remember. I cannot remember. And I think Zaka was Sokka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they changed it. The Shamhammer changed the names up and everything.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not as bad as I thought it might have been. Like when you were gonna say, "Oh, they changed soccer to Brad."
Bradley.
Actually, no. You would be a good Chad. Like I feel like, like if you did change the name of soccer to Chad, I'd be like, you know what? Let's see.
we focus tested it against like a select number of Floridians, and they needed a Chad to be represented.
They needed a Chad. Everyone needs a Chad. Everyone needs a Chad. There's no doubt about that. But no, yeah. It was an interesting experience. The film. There's no doubt about it.
There you go.
Awesome. I never watched it. I to be fair though, I hadn't seen Avatar
Neither
At the time.
at the time.
Oh
so I
god!
was like, I'm
If
not
you
gonna watch
started
it.
with the film, I would have cried for you so much.
Avatar,
You'd
I'm
be
not
coming back
watching
to-
that hot piece
There
of
you go.
crap. Be like watching.
I would have
like,
apologized
Avatar, I've
for
seen it.
M. Night Shyamalan for you
like,
on his behalf for him.
experiencing Resident Evil by just watching the
The
films.
Mila Jokovic movies.
And then you start playing the games and you're like, well, all of these characters look familiar.
Well, they're less annoying. What the hell?
I'm waiting for the guy, the one with the nemesis who has the golden combs. He's like, look at all my shit.
Oh, I
He hasn't
stopped.
popped up in the games yet.
I stopped after one.
Yeah.
I watched the first one and I was like, cool. No more Resident Evil films for me. And I watched another one in the series. Me and Keith and Russ were setting up for a charity stream, and we did the setup the night before. And then we sat down in front of his TV, and one of the Resident Evil films just happened to be like on TV. So we just watched it. I don't remember much about what happened to it, but it was a good laugh. Barry Burton was in it.
Fair enough.
Or someone who cosplaying as Barry Burton. Anyway, I don't know.
A lot of them looked very cosplay-ish.
He died, and I was like, okay.
That's what they killed a lot of them. Yeah, they didn't really keep a lot on any of them around.
Didn't like the entire
Except his
world
wife. His
end?
wife was around all the time.
Yeah, the one character who wasn't in Resident Evil.
Alice. Yeah.
Who was wearing Ada's dress for some reason.
Yeah, she's Ada, but she's not Ada.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then Ada came into it.
Yeah, I think they got everybody, didn't they? Like I remember seeing trailers of Wesker.
Yeah,
Shades.
Wesker was in it and
then-
replaced his actor twice, I think, or once.
And then in the 3D film, he threw his sunglasses at the screen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were like, whoa, you would have been, I suppose, if you watched it in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I just saw the trailer.
In 2D.
In 2D.
Yeah, so it didn't even have that go for you.
I had a 3D monitor because it was the best monitor I could buy at the time. The 3D was optional. And I I used it once. I played Star Trek the video game.
Yeah, you did.
The J.J. Abrams Star Trek tie-in video game. Co-op with Russ in 3D. With the stupid little glasses on.
Yep.
It was awful. But it made they made the experience of playing a terrible Star Trek game more memorable.
There you go. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah.
Even mushroom ones.
Goddamn. All right, gamers, let's talk games. Where do we want to start? There's no like There's no like, I'm gonna do the main topic. It's like we've got a list of things. Let's talk about them. I know you've wanted to talk about the YouTube video you shared for a while, which I rewatched just before.
Who, me or Vitz?
No, the AAA games will probably destroy the industry by Solari. I think that's how you pronounce his.
Oh yeah.
I watched it when you shared it, and then as I was putting the document together, I was like, I should watch this again because I don't remember very much of it. So I watched it again, and then I watched another one of his videos, and now I've got the two videos all mixed up in my head. So that was a great idea.
Great idea. Great idea. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm easy. However you want to go here. So
yeah, let's go
for
it.
Let's go for it. So AAA games is just not going to happen. They're going to destroy the industry that we love. What also helps, that's going to destroy the industry as well as layoffs as well. So it's a mixture of all the awesomeness. The games industry is going to die there. There's the topic.
Holy damn.
Yeah,
that
there you go.
Quickly.
And Nintendo is going to save it again.
What's Atari? When you need
Hey, they came out with the retro console last year.
Did they?
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
What?
No,
Okay, that's interesting.
The cartridges had all the dip switches and things on the back. Yeah.
The next E3, or whatever, this summer, Phil Spencer's going to walk out on the stage and he's going to do the whole Xbox press conference and he's we just got one more thing. And then he's just going to grab the Xbox logo and he's going to rip it down. It's going to be an Atari logo and he's just going to go, ha ha, we fooled you suckers.
And we're going to finish building the Atari Hotel in Vegas.
Atari never died.
There you go.
And then the one more
in
thing
the background all along.
and then the one more thing is E.T., the video game community game.
They're digging up all the copies that were in the desert. That's a trailer, right? Just people digging in the desert. You think it's like an Indiana Jones thing of, they're trying to find the Ark again. Nope, they're digging up E.T.
That's the next Indiana. After the Great Circle, they'll make a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
He's just finding all of the copies of E.T., the video game. Anyway.
Yeah, but the tagline is it doesn't belong in a museum, it belongs on Game Pass. That's all that I'm going to say.
It belongs on Game Pass.
Troy Baker, get yourself back in the recording booth, my friend.
You voice E.T.
There you go.
We're remastering it. So this video is about a lot of different things. The main one that I think the main driving thrust of the video, the main thing that stood out to me was obviously the pointing out the cost of how much it makes to make a video game, like a AAA video game. And when I say game in this section, I'll probably be referring to AAA games.
Everything we're talking about is basically going to be AAA.
Yeah, unless
There's
I
no doubt
specifically
about
say
that.
like, indie or smaller games. But
But
like the costs of skyrocketed to the point where the general thesis of the video is the cost of AAA video games is development has skyrocketed to the point where you can't afford to fail, which makes the entire industry completely risk averse, and that sort of seems to be the good jumping off point to talk about.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like one of the biggest things that I think is the big shocker for me was like the first Last of Us. Like it's out there and everything like that. Reportedly cost around 75 million to make, which is still a lot of money, but compared to what the sequel was, is disgusting in not so bloody many ways. That the leap went from 75 million to the sequel to 200 million, 200 plus million, yeah, for that, and it's just for me is absolutely insane. And then you see the numbers for Horizon. The last Horizon was like 220, I think. Yeah. And then you see after the terrible leaks for Insomniac and everything like that reportedly the next Spider-Man 3 is going to be about 300 million. Yeah. And you just go, this is not sustainable at all. And so like when I see the idiot CEOs come out and say, we need to make game prices more expensive. Yeah, because you're pouring out that much money into a fucking video game. You're screwing yourself while also screwing the people you need to buy your goddamn video game. Because of your stupid incompetence of saying we need to do what movies do. Indiana Jones cost 300 million. It obviously made a profit. Obviously, no one's bitching about that movie whatsoever, the last one. And so on. And then you see things like I'm going off movies just so it's the best analogy for myself in my head. The Godzilla -1 reportedly costs around 15 million. There's other things, factors apparently because of how Japanese workers work and everything like that and how they structure things. But the cost is be around somewhere between 15 to 30 million overall.
They actually have a production schedule. And what they do is they stick to that schedule. And surprisingly enough, that's cheaper.
No, but just think like that cost 15 million. The visual effects artists have just been nominated for an Academy Award this week.
I saw that video. Yeah.
That's incredible. And it costs 15 million. We'll say overall. That's what's out there for like that. But like, and you're seeing all these things, and you're seeing all the studios. This is not just in games, but also films as well. Of cutting costs and slashing people's jobs and getting rid of them just to save costs or do what Warner Bros. Have done.
Yeah.
Just tax things off as well, write them off as a tax cut and everything, a tax write-off and whatnot. And you're seeing all of this work go down the bin, people losing their livelihoods and everything, and because of incompetence of higher management is insanity. Where I go back to Sean Layden when he was PlayStation head. He said it. He saw it coming ages ago, even though he was working for Tencent right now. Okay, it's very questionable either way. But either way, he saw it coming. Like he said, smaller prices, shorter games, like around the 10, 15 hour mark, but on a good price mark, like that and everything. We got everyone, but you got. Basically, you could clearly see what happened. He got kicked out of the freaking company, so Jim Ryan could come on, and so they could do 15 live service games, which they've now cancelled half of the fuckers. For him now to just go, there might be a problem here. Like the optics have come out, I think, over the Christmas period or the last year for PlayStation that 60% of players play single player games on their console. That tells them, there's your metric, guys. There's your metric. That's your
bread and butter.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can still have like the AAA games that are doing all the, like the Call of Duties and everything like that, going to get you big money and whatnot. But your bread and butter is single player. Everyone knows this.
This is essentially what built your platform to begin with. This is why you are, quote unquote, in the lead in a race. And to your point, it's that balance between. Well, it's a complete imbalance at the moment, but between growth and sustainability. And at the moment, there just isn't any. And if there was a notion to say, maybe this is the case internally at PlayStation or Xbox or wherever kind of thing, to say, okay, we spent, let's say, $250 million on The Last of Us 2 engine, or The Last of Us 2 in total. If we then commit to make 3 games using the same engine, and we create new visual assets and things, and we tell a different story, but we don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel and build a brand new engine for every single title, then we can kind of mitigate that cost and spread that cost over a number of titles kind of thing. Or, as you say, smaller games which come out as their expansions or their own spin-off titles. But at the moment, it is just... There isn't physically enough time for everybody to play these games, and there won't be enough money for people to buy these games either. And it's as you say, the market's just going to crash.
That's what makes it worse, because like the market's also what dictates also for the customers like that is what everyone wages are. The wages in the UK alone are shit for the most part, and everything. You know, like no one for the most part, a lot of people, apart from like the 1%, what is that? I think it's like 5-10% of the people in the UK are basically have a living wage.
Yes.
They don't. We don't have a living wage for the most part. And people, and even less, the people are just struggling outright who just don't even have a job because they struggle to find a job, or they have got disabled and they just don't get enough. They aren't getting good benefits because for some reason the Tories are thinking, "Oh, fuck you, disabled people," basically, and whatnot. But yeah, it's a combination of ton of things outside that's going to hurt. That's hurting the industry as well. But it just also ultimately just comes down to terrible terrible management.
Mhm.
And my worry is like right now, like Insomniac is like the golden child right now for PlayStation. They're
Yeah.
running that company into the ground. They've released 3 big games for themselves for since the PS5 came out, which is it's only been 4 years.
Mhm.
And they apparently rumored that there's another game coming this week, this year, or next year. You know, like, it's not sustainable. They're running these companies into the ground, and the worst thing is, because of this, they're sacking people off. They're deciding, I do not want to be in this industry anymore. Oh wait, I can do my job still, but in your company that's not in the video game industry and get paid better. Take me up there. Thank you. Bye, a video game industry and everything. And it's like,
Yeah, the thing that strikes me is thinking about all the young people who are potentially looking at coming into the industry, and they're seeing over the past say 18 months of all the layoffs that's happening, and they they go to school, they read about or they learn about how to make games, how to write about games, whatever it happens to be. But then when they come to the brass taxes of they've graduated school and they're looking to get into the industry, that it's not sustainable in the slightest, and then there's zero job security. And why would you bet all your eggs on an industry that you might profess to love, but it's going to just cause you nothing but heartache and hardship going forwards, kind of thing? Where to Moody's point, there's much more sustainable jobs elsewhere. I mean, maybe not like in the tech space, but there will be other industries where they can apply their trade, kind of thing. And it's just, without these new people coming in, we will lose all of the creativity that they bring, all the new fresh ideas, and these are the kind of titles which will push the industry forward, rather than just getting the same kind of titles that we do get just reheated like leftovers, because in an attempt to save money because you've laid off half of your team, kind of thing.
Well, I think part of it is that Nintendo aside, a lot of larger game publishers don't see the need to branch out. Like, we're about to hit and we'll probably talk about more about this because we've got a layoffs specific thing to talk about. But we're about to hit this period of the next few years where it's gonna be rough sailing for like AAA games. But I'm gonna say something that's gonna make a lot of people mad. PlayStation games are all functionally the same game.
Oh yeah, they're all third-person action
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, this is working really well for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as Microsoft found out, you can't just keep releasing the same thing over and over again. Like, they're going to run face first into that brick wall of, oh, people are getting sick of The Last of Us Part 7 and Spider-Man versus, I don't know, something from outer space.
Typically, like Venom from outer space.
Okay, but in outer space.
At least it's in some universes, yeah.
Well, like, everything gets fatigue if you don't mix it up a bit. But PlayStation, for some reason, they decided they've got all of their eggs in the cinematic single player prestige game, and they decided what they were going to do is they're going to take half of those eggs, and instead of spreading them out across like a bunch of different things, put all of those eggs into another basket labeled live service, which doesn't seem sensible if you're trying to find the next big hit. Like, regardless, like, one of their live service games could have popped off and made them like bazillions of dollars, but like the early PlayStation days, and I know I'm focusing on PlayStation a lot, but it's kind of relevant, I guess. In the early PlayStation days, the games that popped off weren't the games that were supposed to pop off. Like, I think of Final Fantasy VII and I know it sounds ridiculous to say that now, but like how big of a risk it was that Final Fantasy to put so many eggs in the Final Fantasy VII basket, because JRPGs were like a niche genre, like that had their fans and people loved them. And then Final Fantasy VII came out and it was a huge titanic success that, like, if Final Fantasy didn't exist, no one at PlayStation would be making in fact, no one in the AAA industry would be making Final Fantasy like right now. Like, and you can see that because of how surprising to like Microsoft, for example, the success of Baldur's Gate 3 was. Like they wrote that game off. I believe the quote that they used was something along the lines of a second run Stadia RPG. Like they didn't break that game at all, because in their mind, nobody plays CRPGs. Like, but it's not about like genres or like, oh, is this like the last thing that just exploded in popularity? It's like, is it a good thing that people want? Like, people are terrible at knowing what they want.
Yes.
Which is a quote from the video. like you give them different things, and then they will latch onto things that maybe they didn't even expect. You know.
100%. And like even through the PS2 generation, you have more experimental titles. You have your Psychonauts coming out. You have your things even from third party, like from Beyond Good and Evil. But when you think about what Team Japan was putting out, and you have titles like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus and whatnot, these were out there games where I don't think they get greenlit today.
Dark Souls wouldn't have gotten greenlit in today's conditions.
Exactly.
Like Demon Souls to Dark Souls were so fucking weird and out there when they came out. They were completely different from anything else that existed on the market. But now we have Elden Ring. Now, like, we have we're awash in Souls likes because it's now an established genre. But
yeah,
like the place where I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, sort of, is that they've created market conditions where they have to spend so much money on their biggest games that they can't afford them to flop. PlayStation today couldn't greenlight publishing Demon Souls in case it wasn't, because if it didn't sell 10 million copies, it would lose the money. That's the situation they find themselves in. But it's an Aurora. I can never pronounce this. It's the snake eating its own tail. Ouroboros. Ouroboros. Because if they don't innovate and take risks and make things like, or publish, I guess, things like and not just PlayStation, but everybody, if they don't take risks on trying to find that new thing, they're only going to release the old thing, and people are going to get sick of the old thing.
Yeah. Like
Microsoft in the 360 days relied on Halo, Fable, Gears, and Forza so much that eventually everybody got sick of those games, and then they would come out at E3 and go, but this is kind of all we've got.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we built our house upon.
Yeah,
and even when you look to the PlayStation first party tentpoles, which they have like introduced in when starting from the PS4 era. So we're looking at IPs like Horizon, which is obviously from Guerrilla. We're looking at Sucker Punch and Ghost of Tsushima, and there's a few more of those. Days Gone, obviously, Days Gone didn't pan out for Bend in terms of commercial sales. I think critically, it was what it was at the end of the day. So it's not to say that they haven't tried, but to speak of Days Gone, they couldn't risk like giving that game another shot to kind of see if they could redeem themselves and make the money they did. To your point, Amy, that they needed to. So the industry's gonna need to crash and burn, and we're gonna need to build back better.
It doesn't need to. That's what frustrates me the most. Like, none of this needs to reset. Like, they can make changes now. Like, you don't have to spend fucking $400 million on Cyberpunk 2077. You could spend $100 million on 4 games, and if 2 of them pop off, that's going to make you even more money. Like I don't know. Like, the problem is that the need to make maximum profit is the enemy of art, and that is the thing that is currently clashing quite hard in games right now. Like, I mean, it doesn't help that you have to release a game within a certain time frame, regardless of whether it works or not. Which isn't helping any of us playing the games, any of the people making the games, or any of the people trying to make money off of selling the games.
It's all about, the worst thing is about it is that they're all in the issue of, I'm going to sound like freaking Liz Truss here, growth, and more growth. And I think, and it's not about sustainability, which is like like when we laugh about freaking things of like when it comes to global warming, it's all about sustainability for the planet and everything. It's the same for the video game industry. It's not about growth, it's about sustainability, where you can continue to bring in money for yourselves and bring in profit, and still be able to bring out great games and everything for us and whatnot. And it's just like the worst thing is about it, like with all these layoffs and everything like that. Well, not the worst thing, should I say? Like this is a 50. It's a double-edged sword. This part.
One of the many.
It's a double-edged sword.
things.
The double-edged sword part from all these layoffs is that some group is going to come together and they're going to create an indie studio, and they're going to maybe come out and bring the next best thing, next good thing that comes out from it. One of these AAA developers are going to try and buy them. Probably Microsoft, because they're just buying everybody these days and whatnot, or Tencent, and whatnot, and then we lose out. They lose the identity and everything, and then the cycle goes off again. They'll leave to go off and create a new studio, and so on and so on. And it just, the worst thing is about it is like what you're saying, Amy, is like spot on. Like even though I love a lot of them and everything like that, Sony do release games that are just very. They do the same thing over and over again, pretty much. Third person, full on story games, main character, pasty white dude for the most part. Nathan Drake, the Joel, Spider-Man, and whatnot, and so on. It's just like, but. This is an industry that we all love. This is an industry that we love the characters that we've all fallen in love with. We all have games out there that have inspired us in so many ways, or just like opened our minds to something, and to see that the corporates just don't give a fuck apart from growth. Just like, so like what you said, Vitz, earlier, like, for all the young, inspiring people who are in college right now or in university trying to get into this industry, my thing to them right now is don't.
Absolutely.
Don't like, it's like, I don't even know. Like I don't even know off the top of my head that if any of the ones who are in my class have got a job in the industry yet. And I would say I was probably one of the worst ones compared to them, like they had so many amazing ideas. My thing was just get the degree, do everything as best of my learn and absorb as much as I can and whatnot. But my thing was, because of my age, I was like, I need to get in. Basically, my aim was get in, get out, get a job type of thing. And I was there way longer than I thought I was going to be. And it was a great success. It's great. It's because I'm in the job I want to be in and everything. And I'm grateful for that. But like like for me, like I'm able to sustain it. I'm able to be able to take it but like it's also put me in an extraordinary amount of debt just for college. They don't have the jobs. And they have just took nothing but debt from this thing, what makes it even worse. And it's a whole, like I said, it's a culmination of so many things that are outside of this video game industry that's going to hurt the video game industry.
Yes. Sorry, I felt like someone needed to fill.
No, absolutely.
No.
We're all being quiet.
Yeah, no, and it's like, and then you see, like, I don't mind like many different avenues to type of playing games. Like, if you want to go out and buy them, support the discs and everything like that. Because if you want the disc, you got to go out and buy them because the discs are going to go. If you want to play digital, that's your choice as well. I buy digital. I'm a bit of mixture of all things. But if you want to like do what you do, Amy, for your Xbox, it's literally just a gaming streaming thing for you for Game Pass. If you want to do that, That makes it all.
I had a game sharer, but he never buys games on Xbox anymore. So I guess it is just a Game Pass machine.
I've lost my train of
I
thought.
thought you. I looked and I was like, I tried to stop myself.
Yeah, you did.
I never can.
You did not.
You were talking about how there's many different avenues for
to play
games.
But at the same time, all these companies are trying to push to one of them. Or two of them, but eventually that one of them is going to turn to one. That two of them is going to then turn to one of them because they're going to try and focus on on one thing, just like again the movie industry has done as well. Trying to streaming, everyone's streaming. Yeah, that's how good is that doing it for you guys?
We made cable again, guys. Check it out.
There you go. We made TV again.
And yeah, it's just. No one, apart from us and other places and whatnot, would say you've got to think sustainability, not growth. I also believe you can have both. Just you don't have to be a greedy twat.
No, you can definitely.
You don't have to hurt. You don't have to hurt the people who are giving you that money, as well, because it's the people who develop the games for you to be able to do this. And yeah. We're gonna have a staff shortage as well because of the layoffs as well.
That seems like a good segue into the 5,800 plus layoffs that have happened in the last 25 days.
Yeah, to be fair, at the time of recording, there's still a few hours of the working day left over in the States.
Early. So
it might change before this episode releases on Friday.
So like, if it's high, it changed. I did exactly what I said I was going to do in Discord chat. I said, right, get all your stuff in on the Discord, and I'll put the doc together. And I saw all the different layoff stories people had shared, and I was like, I'm sure someone's made a tracker, and there's a Kotaku tracker. And I was like, I'm just going to use this, and I put the number in at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon UK time, and then I had to go back in before we started recording because the number had already changed.
And not by an insignificant
and not by like 20. By like 2,000.
Yep.
Like, I'm scared to click it because the number might have changed again in the last 2 hours. But yes, there's a Kotaku. It has changed.
Oh, fuck off. Seriously?
It now says 5,900 plus. So there's been another 100 since I already updated the document. Thank you. I'm scrolling. Yeah, there's been 2 more. Rycon Games has laid off about 60 people, and Little Red Dog Games has laid off 27 people. Oh no, Little Red Dog Games has just shut down completely.
Oh, lovely.
So, like, you know, this number will be higher by the time people sit down to listen to this podcast, even if you click play on it the minute I upload it. But
yeah, I think there's a really powerful paragraph at the end of this. So as of January 25th, 2024, at least 5,959 people have been or will be laid off this year. The video game industry is bigger and makes more money than movies and music combined, bringing in $180 billion in 2021 alone. It's also an industry that becomes riskier and more expensive each year as AAA games take longer and cost more to make, as we were alluding to earlier. Leading to a situation where even a single flop can sink a studio or publisher. And the whole industry is also in desperate need of unions to help protect the workers and things don't go. Industry consolidation will likely continue to cost thousands of people their jobs.
You malfunctioned for about 30 seconds there. Like, not even a little bit. You did.
I thought it was my end. I thought it was me.
You did the whole robot thing.
Oh, yeah. To sum up what I said, corporate greed, industry consolidation, and poor leadership will likely continue to cost thousands of people's jobs.
Well, I want to.
Also, if anyone knows of a good Discord alternative, please leave a comment because I'm getting sick of this shit. Sorry, Moody, go on.
No. So, neither of you know this or anything like that. Only person who knows this is my partner. But today, I literally signed up to a union.
Congrats.
Good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not risking it. To my knowledge, I'm perfectly comfortable. I'm all good at my place and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you just don't know. You don't know.
Like, I do have to wince when every time I see a new headline, because obviously, like, I know like where you work, and I know where a lot of my friends work, and it's like, is this the post I'm going to see where it's like, Merge Games announces this? Or...
Yeah, and then the other thing to consider as well is a lot of these people who've been affected they don't know until they see it in the news cycles.
Well, yeah.
And it's one of-
Yeah, the Microsoft one today, like people who worked at Activision Blizzard were texting Jason Schreier to see if they could find out if they still had a job, because they didn't know. They were finding out on socials, not by emails or being told.
It's also that conversation of how do you check in on your industry friends without A, being the instigator of causing them panic to think, oh crap, is my job in danger, or to find them in a place where they aren't in the place where they need to talk to friends or are open to talking to friends and all the rest of it. And it's a tricky situation for everyone involved. So if you're in a position where you know of people who have been affected, then please show as much empathy as you can muster, because I think that's what a lot of people need right now.
Yeah.
In January 2024, this year, Microsoft became the only and third company in history to be worth more than $3 trillion. And they've just sacked off 1,900 plus people.
Well, think of it this way. So Bobby Kotick took a golden parachute when they were booted out of the top of Activision Blizzard. I think the packet was in the region of $149 million. All of that money was more than enough to save the 1,900 people who were laid off.
The money they spent on Activision Blizzard,
wouldn't even scratch it.
Wouldn't even scratch it. Like, they bought the studio knowing full well they were going to sack a bunch of people out of it. And like, I never want to be like the I told you so person, but like, we were sounding alarm bells when Microsoft started buying up studios before Activision Blizzard. Mergers and acquisitions lead to layoffs. They always have, and they always will. And it's the other knock-on effect it's had, because unfortunately I've read a lot about this in the last few months, because, you know, there's a lot of fucking ground to cover with it. I'm not a financial expert. I read things and watch things. The investment in video games is crashed. So you look at studios that haven't been bought by mega corporations, and they're not getting any money for their next projects. So it's like the storm where, you know, the two storms collide and it makes the bigger storm.
Yeah.
And then George Clooney's on a boat and
that was perfect storm.
There we go.
Perfect storm. I thought you were trying to think of The Day After Tomorrow or something.
No. The other one.
Or Twisters.
The other one. Or 2012. No, the other one. But no, it's creating a perfect storm of just everything's going to hell. And it's all about that return on investment. Like, Riot Games have sacked 500-600 people this week, and one of the things they said in the statement, this isn't to appease the shareholders. It is a bit to appease the shareholders, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have done it. Riot Games makes enough money to cover
for one game,
to cover paying all of those people without it denting them. Like, they're not going to go out of business if they continued to employ those people. Microsoft isn't going to wouldn't go out of business if they continued to employ the 1,900 people they're laying off right now.
What's really sickening is, to that point, Microsoft stock went up this morning.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
Because the shareholders love it, because it means they're going to get a higher return on their investment, because they're spending less money.
From a business point of view, you can see where they're coming from. And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate or nothing, but in terms of, Activision Blizzard, they have a finance department. But when they're acquired, you don't need their finance department, because Microsoft's got that covered, kind of thing. So I can see that it makes quote unquote sense, but it's done with such a lack of compassion. It breaks the heart.
I was in a job once where it was a retail job. It's a long time ago, where there was like two stores owned by the same company that merged into like one store. And obviously that means fucking shitloads of people work there. And how that was handled, quote unquote handled, was natural attrition. So everybody from both places kept their jobs, and a few people like went to different places, and then they just kept running with everybody that was there. And then as people naturally left, and the headcount went down. Not sacked, just like people got other jobs, went to do other things. And there's a way to handle this kind of thing, and then there's this. But because we live in late stage capitalism, that number wouldn't go up fast enough if they just waited for natural attrition. And natural attrition wouldn't really take care of anything because there's no fucking jobs anyway at the moment. But like the idea of like Microsoft signing this fucking deal like 2 months ago and then laying off 1,900 people, and like a lot of these layoffs are down to bad ideas, bad mismanagement. And it's the executives who continue to get their hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and then everybody else gets sacked. Like you could sack Phil Spencer, and instead of all of these people, and you probably save more money.
Yeah, corporations aren't your friend.
Yeah, even if their figurehead seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's still an executive.
None of this Uncle Phil business anymore. That's it.
What makes it worse for him is that he's even come out. Oh no, I shouldn't be getting paid the amount I get paid. You
take a pay cut.
Refuse it.
Exactly.
You can take a pay cut.
What I did.
You're the boss. Yeah.
You can actually do that. You've got the power.
Yeah, I'd love to be in a room with him for like 5 minutes, or just on a podcast, and just be like,
Yeah.
I've got some great news for you, Phil. On that regard, there was this guy who used to run Nintendo called Satoru Iwata, right? And what he did was, but that's the thing. I've seen this because I've seen the Iwata thing shared, a bunch of times, obviously in the last little while. But like he did that, and the executives below him did that because Nintendo are in bad times, right? Like. I can't remember when exactly it was. I don't know, it was the GameCube or the Wii or whatever, but they were not the Wii U. Sorry, but they were not doing well. Microsoft is doing well. Like
yes,
they are doing well. Like I know, like they're in third place or whatever, but like they are making a lot of money, which is their entire purpose for.
They're not making a loss.
Like they're not making a loss. Not only do they not need to sack people, Phil doesn't need to cut his pay because they don't need to sack people and save money. They're not in that position where they need to save and scrimp. Like, so yeah, like, but yes, Phil, if somehow you've stumbled upon our podcast, great news, you can just cut your pay whenever you want.
Yeah.
Wild
Video
how
games,
that works. It's wild how that works, isn't it?
That's it.
Well, the thing is now, like, so I put something out on LinkedIn where I attached. Basically, I said it's now time to unionize, but also strike. And I think that's the only way these companies are going to start listening and everything like that. So I think anyone out there, I think if there's a chance we're going to now start seeing things like this. Like we already saw it with that, but that was only really with one company, and that was Activision Blizzard, obviously, when the whole thing happened and whatnot. We haven't really seen it since then. I think we're going to start, especially as like there's an article out there by like from GamesIndustry.biz, like this is only the beginning. Like it's going to be like the next couple of years, like what you stated earlier, Amy.
Yeah,
that it's going to be hard times even more. If it's going to get worse, that means the people are going to get pissed off, and the people are going to start striking, and the people are just going to refuse giving people work. Then that's going to affect the customers, because the customers are going to be like, wait, why is this game still broken after they've released it and everything? Why have they not updated it? Because the people don't get paid right, or they're going to get sacked, and they're just refusing to work. So it's like
the thing we all heard last year was like 2023 is an amazing year for video games, and like. It wasn't. It was a terrible year for video games at the time with the layoffs. But like, you could see what was coming for the next 5 years of like games, for the people who make them and for the games themselves. Like the games are gonna suck, like comparatively, like for the next few years. Well, not suck, but you know what I mean. Games are gonna get worse, like for the next few years at least, because it's dominoes falling, and I don't think people connect, like people in general on a larger, broader, like painting with a broader brush, like connect events to one another. where it's like all of this stuff happened in 2023, and yeah, sure, Zelda and Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake and everything were fucking great games, but that's because the preceding few years were like there was better job security, there was more people working on games, there's more investment going into games, people were able to remote work, which which definitely contributed, and it's the thing that we've been advocating for years on this podcast, especially me and Moody have been here for years, is that when people are happier, they make better games.
Yes. So one-to-one correlation with that, isn't
That's what happened last year. Like, people were happier and they made amazing games. Even the people who haven't been laid off are going to be affected by all of the layoffs because they're going to worry that they're next. They're not going to be making their best work. They're constantly going to be looking over their shoulder. They're going to be worried about all of their friends who don't have jobs and who might never get jobs in the industry. I've seen people talking about literally they've been given offers from studios, and then those studios have laid off, and they've had to do a studio freeze, and they've had the offers rescinded. So, like,
yeah, I know one person who's had that twice happen to them.
yeah, there's no route back into the industry for a lot of people that are going, and we haven't even touched on the fact that these layoffs are going to disproportionately affect marginalized people.
Yeah, and there are some movements. So I know, I think maybe you shared this in terms of for people who play titles by Riot. I believe on the February 11th, there is a movement to essentially to avoid all Riot games and titles on that day as a form of peaceful protest, for want for a better word, and to send a message that everything that they're doing in terms of laying off people and their practices are not right, and that the people, for a better term, won't stand for it. Now, whether one day will have any serious impact, it can't say, but at least it sends a message. So there'll be, I think, in many instances, you have some form of duty to be educated on what's going on with the video games that you play. And with that information, you can choose to make whatever decision comes to you and whatever feels right, kind of thing. But I think there has to be more accountability, and for us to hold all these video game companies accountability, we need to be educated on the matter as well.
Yeah, true. No doubt about that. But sadly, when it comes to that Riot thing, if you're asking the games to do something, and I don't mean this necessarily towards them or anything like that, but I just don't think they'll do anything.
You know what, Moody? I'm going to echo your sentiment, but I do mean it nastily towards them, because I've seen some Riot Games players' responses to some of this stuff, and I do mean it nastily. They're not going to do not enough of them are going to do shit, because not enough of them care, as long as their game still works. Like,
yeah, that's why I say it's the the employees who need to do this. They're the ones who need to strike and everything.
And I'm 1,000% with you. It's just for everybody listening and who may not be in the industry, if they're feeling powerless, then things like this are something they can potentially get involved in.
Hope so.
Yeah.
It's baby steps.
It is.
Hopefully it's something.
Hopefully. Who's ready for a half? On that depressing note, who's ready for a halftime? Who wants to learn about a cool indie game? I haven't done this for a while. Because it's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do every week, where we talk about a cool-looking, upcoming indie game that looks cool and you should go and wishlist it. This week's Indie Game of the Week: Little Problems, a cozy detective game. Little Problems is a cozy detective game about solving mysteries around minor inconveniences, everyday misunderstandings, and of course, little problems. This game is not about saving the world, it's about enriching it, one case at a time. And if that didn't just sound like exactly the kind of game to drop into the middle of this podcast, I don't know what did.
That's it. That's exactly. This is the hero we need right now.
These are the heroes we need right now. But no, it came to my attention because it describes itself further and down its Steam description as a case of the Golden Idol like, and we need more games like Case of the Golden Idol. So I was like, man, sold immediately. And of course, it looks really good. It's being developed by Poshcat Studios, published by PlayStack. It's coming 2024 at Steam. Link in the description. Click it. Click the wishlist button. Really helps.
Great stuff.
Yeah. So let's go take a halftime and reconsider all of the choices in our lives that have brought us to this place. I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if you guys are
That's
just
it.
going to
Well, I'll
grab a
come back and
drink or
flood the tears.
something.
Don't you?
I'm gonna make a cuppa.
Enjoy. All right, gamers. Let's get back to it. Can I before
do
we
it.
do it, before we do a gaming check-in, can I inject some positivity into this podcast to
Oh,
talk
100%.
about
Yeah, do the GDQ thing. Yeah,
to talk
absolutely.
about awesome games done quick.
Yeah,
Raising $2,516,507 for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Because that was nice. That was a nice week. Like
It was.
I didn't take the week off on purpose to watch GDQ. Like it just my week off lined up
These are the stars aligned.
perfectly, so that like I was sitting down, and I was like, "Oh, GDQ started. Oh, I guess I'll watch it like live this year." Like obviously not all of it. It runs 24/7 for 7 days, but yeah, I ended up watching quite a lot of it live. It was funny because about halfway through the watching it, I was watching like it's this thought struck me, and then I was like, I want to bring this up on the podcast. I was watching a speed run of the Bluey, the video game.
Oh yeah.
It was really nice. Like it's but if you don't know what Bluey is, it's just a really wholesome cartoon, and they made a game of it last year. And you can't really speed run it; like you can just play it. But like every time the characters on the screen went "hooray," which is like a catchphrase thing from the TV show, like the entire crowd and everybody would just go "hooray," and it was just this really nice, wholesome, awesome moment. And it was like I was about halfway through the event, and I was thinking back to the podcasts that towards the end of last year where we were talking about the Game Awards, like how disrespectful it was to the people who make games, and Jeff trying to market it as a celebration of games, and it's just a celebration of game advertisements. And I just had that thought of, no, this is a celebration of games. This is what a celebration of games actually looks like. Like from like the big stuff, like there was runs of Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3, like down to like Whiplash, an early 2000s 3D platformer released on the original Xbox that no one had ever heard of, but someone did a speedrun of it, and it was a great speedrun. Like it was a fun time to watch it. And then just the icing on the top of it of they raised $2.5 million for a charity, and I was like, damn, this is a celebration.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, it's just good to watch. It was one of the best ones of the last few years. Like I haven't disliked any GDQs that I've watched any of since I got into it during the pandemic, the lockdown specifically. But like this one, just I don't know, the vibes were just there was just something about it that was just really, really cool. Like
It's like tonic for the soul.
yeah, I mean, Games Done Quick is a really, really cool, inclusive, welcoming community. Like just all year round anyway. But the runs were cool. Like Jeremite was run by Peanut Butter the dog.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah.
Somebody else got like 16 stars in Super Mario 64 played on a drum kit. People out there, but then there was a lot of devs there, like Dead Space remake. They did a speed run of that, and they had a QA tester on the couch. So they were talking to him while they were doing the speed run, and Marty, the guy who was the creative director of Doom in 2016, Hugo Martin, was like, he was on Discord while they were doing the speedrun, 100% speedrun of Doom and stuff. And there was a Celeste dev there at one point, and it was just like, damn, this is fucking, what a great experience.
That's awesome.
I highly recommend it. All of the runs are up on YouTube. And there's a lot of fun to be had. And a lot of the really fun ones are the ones you wouldn't expect. One of my favorite ones was the Granny games were extremely entertaining to watch. But yeah, it's good. It was good. And it raised a lot of money. And the next one is Frost Fatales, March 3rd, March 9th, which is women and femmes. speedrunning
Nice.
for another charity.
That's awesome.
That's it. I just wanted to inject a little bit of hooray, I guess.
That's it.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, see things like this is amazing. So,
Yeah, like I highly recommend everyone just like go into the playlist on YouTube and just scroll through it, see if something catches your eye. Like, there's some really fucking cool shit. If you like video games, especially. I don't know how Moody would feel watching it as a QA tester because like speedrunning requires breaking shit.
don't like it.
Even
Just
Moody,
like, no.
even Moody would get mad at PB the dog. So,
To be fair, Peanut Butter the dog obviously did not take advantage of any glitches.
I understand the fascination with it, but for me, it's like if you want to do a speedrun it how it's meant to be, not by breaking it or anything like that. I don't really like that.
Well, there are speedrun categories like glitchless categories and stuff.
Yeah, glitches. I think if you can do glitch, I think you do glitches. Those are the ones. If I watch any, those are the ones I would watch and everything like that. But if it's with glitches, I'm just like, I'm out.
yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat when it comes to, if you're going outside the bounds of what the level is supposed to be, that kind of thing, or the environment, then that kind of defeats the point.
Yeah, but you don't get to see Baldur's Gate beaten in 40 minutes.
That's true.
By yeeting people off of bridges and putting them in boxes and stuff. The Dead Space one was quite fascinating because they did do out of bounds glitches, but the way they got out of bounds was they threw a box and then like used the kinesis thing to pull it back and it hit him in the head and knocked him out of bounds. It is like, how did someone find that?
Yeah, I just stumbled across it in the first place.
Like, interesting. But no, it's a good time. Do you want to should we check in? Should we do some games?
Let's check in with some video games.
Moody can go first because he's played the biggest release of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is a really, really, really good video game. I can see why a lot of people are enjoying it and everything. It brings back Prince of Persia to a whole new light and everything, and it really does. It's really, really well done. Like I say, it does the Castlevania thing. It's been like it's side scrolling. It's doing all that craziness what they've all done before, which many games have done before that and everything. This game has the thing that is its shining light is its visuals, its combat. The combat is really well done. I really did enjoy it and everything. I think it's a little too long. I think it's overly long actually. I think it just hits a part where I hit a part to it where I was just like, I'm done. I was like that. I think this is a you game, Amy. I think you would really enjoy this.
Interesting.
For me personally, I think you would enjoy it. Even though I've just said, I hit a spot where I was like, I'm done, that type of thing.
I like long
I'm
games.
not. yeah. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's great. The visuals are great. I love that that there's a option if you want to, for languages, they've put a Persian language in there, which is very hard to do apparently. That's amazing to see that type of thing. The puzzles to try and get somewhere, I think are really well done, and it's like it goes like does the thing of what like a lot of Metrovanias or Castlevania type Metrovanias do, where further in the game you'll unlock something, you can now go back to do something else, blah blah blah. You can do all that, and some of them are really cool and very unique, and like some of them are also a pain in the ass. So it's just like, wait, you want me to do what? How fast? Huh? They also had some great accessibility in this game as well. They had options that like they did the color thing, what like Last of Us brought into what you can light up to certain parts of the game and colors, high contrast and everything like that. They did that. Does really well. The only thing that they didn't have was what the Turnip thing had, and that was like give infinite life or something like that. I was just like, it got a little too hard for me. I was like, where I even got was like, it's just pissing me off.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. So I've been watching Andy Cortez, the Nitro Rifle playthrough, Prince of Persia over on Twitch and YouTube. The difficulty is is what struck me the most. They're playing it on the hero difficulty, which I think is one above or one fewer than the highest difficulty there is, kind of thing. And that game looks punishing.
It is. It can be. It really can be. And I played it on the baby ass smooth mode, mate. And it was punishing for me. Like, I'm not a good gamer anyway, so I don't really give a fuck. But no, it is a lot of fun. It really is a fun game, and I can see why people are like, "Ooh, already a game of the year" type of thing, and just like that. I was saying, the game's going to be forgotten by the time the end of the year. Sadly,
been forgotten now. Like,
yeah. Sadly, that's the thing about it, especially with the two big releases that have come out, and I think the game has sadly become nonchalant, obsolete, should I say, obsolete, which is a shame because it is a really good video game. I think if you like, it's like, when I say long, it's not like to the length of what a normal Ubisoft type level game is, thousands of hours and everything. You know, it's about a 15-hour, 20-hour game and everything. But I did hit a point where I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of done now. But it is I would say I would give it a thumbs up. I would say, yeah, go out and give it a go and everything like that. I think it is a U game. You're not
just saying that because it's hard, right?
No.
Also, U is for Ubisoft.
I just need to clarify.
No. But I honestly do think you would enjoy this. What are you going to ask, Vitz?
May I ask? So one of the big things about this game that people were talking about was the ability to capture moments and memories, and how you can take snapshots of where you are on the map and tag them to various parts of the map. So if you're while you're exploring and you come when you come across a passageway that you can't open yet because you haven't got the ability or the item to get there, you snapshot where it is, you attach it to the map, and it's a visual reminder to you to say, oh, when I get the item, here's where I need to go, kind of thing. I can go to whatever fast travel point they have and zip back over there. Did you find yourself using that a lot, or
no? Yeah, I didn't, but I think that's in the game is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need it and everything because I wasn't going into the game of like, let's explore everything. Me was just like, I want to just play the game, enjoy myself. I did enjoy myself. I can't deny that. Like I say, I did enjoy myself. I think it's a really good video game. I did hit a spot for myself where this is just a me thing of like, I've now hit my wall. I'm now ready to move on to the next thing, which I've got installed, ready to start on tomorrow. And when I get finished work, and just crack on and then move on. Like, I was ready to, like, I gave myself a limit basically for myself. That's my aim for this year is like, you've got a limit. You've got a time. Okay, if you can't get this done by this date, just return it type of thing.
It's that lesson we all learned last year. Oh, like Vitz or me and you learned where it's like, you just stop playing a game if you want.
Basically, yeah.
That helps me start since I've started with that mindset, that helps me start games now.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I've basically started that. I was thinking if I could complete it, that's fantastic. If I didn't, I didn't. But as long as I enjoyed myself, that's how it was. And I did enjoy myself. Yeah, I hit a wall. But yeah, but the wall is a me thing, not a everyone else thing or anything like that. Yeah, it's a game. No, I don't believe it's a game thing. Yeah. I think it's a more me thing. So like, yeah, definitely, I would say, yeah, give this game a go if you want to give it a go. If you've heard good things or you were on the boat fence, yeah, give it a go. Like it's out there. It's not that expensive to what I know of. Or heck, do what me and Amy do. Go to boomerang.com.
and
we're not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us, Boomerang.
No, we're not sponsored. But you don't even send me the one fucking game. The one game. The one game. I didn't play Prince of Persia because I was like, no, it's fine. Next Yakuza game's coming out. Yeah. I don't want to, like, if I get into that game, I don't want to drop it. Like, if I play it, I want to give it its time. And then they didn't even send me the fucking Yakuza game. And I can't afford to buy it. And I'm totally fine with that.
Also, check out Prince of Persia if you're into tall, muscly women who are also blacksmiths.
Oh my God, Jesus. The muscly women in this, I was like, step on me all the time. And you're the smallest guy in this game. Just so you know, you are the smallest guy. Yeah. Everyone else is like 7 foot fucking tall. Or for the muscly devil woman, she's like 20 foot tall and just like, take me.
I know what you could do with that hammer.
This game.
So what position do you want me to assume for that hammer? I was just like, oh my God. And that's not a reason why I think it's an Amy RCB game either.
Yes, Yes, it is. You all tuned into my Resident Evil Village stream to see one thing.
Hell yeah, we were.
That's not denying
And
it.
I
I can't
delivered,
deny that.
but by
You
accident.
did. By accident.
I got trapped in a corner.
That you obviously didn't put yourself into at all.
I didn't want to give you all the satisfaction, unfortunately. I'm not a very good gamer. So I just went with it. You know, I'm stuck. But yeah, no, that's cool. I'm like, it's on the back of my mind to give it a try. So if I get back to it, I will. But I did play a game. I played one last night actually, off of the old Game Pass. Turnip Boy robs a bank.
Back at it again like a bad habit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's 3 to 4 hours long. That's perfect. I have 3 to 4 hours to spare. Let me play a video game. I've not played Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, despite the fact that that is one of the best names for a video game I've ever heard in my entire life. And that turned out to be quite relevant because at the start, when I started the game up, it was like, "Have you played the first game?" And I was like, "No." And then the game was like, "You probably should, but I'm not going to tell you what to do." And I was like, "I'm sure it's fine. Like, I'm sure it's fine. I'll just get into it." And then like, it was dropping like all of these story references to the first one, and I was like, "What the fuck happened in the first game?" Jesus Christ! So now I need to go and play that. But yeah, this is a roguelite where you play Turnip Boy and you rob a bank, and it's a little bit procedurally generated. So the bank's layout is the same, and like the order of progression, like you beat a boss, you get their card to go to the next area, which is always in the same place and has the same layout, but the enemies are like spawn differently. And then there's these elevators you could go into which take you to like side areas, and those elevators will be random every time. But for the most part, it's just a top-down roguelike. You run around, you shoot some guards, you shake people down by literally, like, you pick them up and you shake them, and all their money falls out. And then you beat it and rob a bank.
Are you intrigued to go back to play the first game?
I definitely want to. When it was like dropping references to some stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's not committing tax evasion."
So my one takeaway from the Turnip Boy franchise is a phenomenal artist, Flora Jesse. You might know them as Pink Spider Felix over on the Twitters. They did a piece of art. I'm only going to give you the title, and I'm let your minds paint the visual picture. Turnip Daddy. And essentially, this made it. The developers loved this so much that she threatened them to say, "Okay, you better not release a bad game, otherwise Turnip Daddy's going to come for you." And I'm happy to say that obviously Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is another stellar game from them. So
it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Very
Hell
short.
yeah.
Like, you know, you hear roguelite and you think, "Oh man, I'm gonna play this game for a bazillion hours to try and freaking unlock." No. It was I played it for 3. According to my Xbox tracker, I played it on PC. I played it for 3 hours and 21 minutes. Finished the game. There's like 4 bosses, and then the final bit. It's a lot of fun. Like, I think it's about right in terms of length. The like, you unlock a lot of stuff, but you do it really, really fast. Because obviously of the length of the game. So you've got this like really like fast climb in terms of like power progression and stuff. And like you find a lot of very cool, fun, different weapons. Like you research to get like crossbows and just Uzis and pistols and stuff, but then you find weapons randomly in the game, and it's like they're ridiculous. But they're a lot of fun to use. And like the game is ridiculous. Like it's so dumb. Like in an intentional funny way. Like the first boss is like a sheriff. like modeled after like an old west sheriff, and when you beat him, his dialogue is, "I guess I've yeed my last ha," and I was just like, yeah,
Brilliant.
So that's the kind of humor you're dealing with, and the tone, and it persists all the way through. And it was just fun. And you can download it on Game Pass. It's like £12.49, I think, to buy if you want to buy it. And if you want to, like, I didn't complete the game 100%, but I feel like it probably would have only taken me like another hour, maybe, to clear it off, like all of the side quests and whatnot to do. But no, it was fun. I had a fun time.
Great stuff. I've been jumping back into Gran Turismo 7 now. For regular fans of the podcast, the last time I talked about Gran Turismo 7 was when I was talking about the 1.41 update, which was Spec 2.0, which essentially was Gran Turismo's version of reinventing itself and bringing some whole-scale changes to the video game. As of the time of recording, 1.42 dropped today, and it is the worst update I've ever come across in this video game. So for context, GT7 is a live service game. So while it doesn't ask for a subscription fee or anything like that, it does ask your time of you. And this update does not respect your time at all. What they're bringing to the game is 3 cars, which is atypical. Like, kind of, this is the usual rigmarole when it comes to GT7 updates. 2 of them are concept cars, which they brand as Vision GTs. One of them you have early access to if you buy a real life watch, which retails for £4,500, or you can just wait till February and pay 1 million in-game credits to do it. That's the thing. And then the other concept car is just a random Genesis, which is a South Korean brand of car. And then we have a little Suzuki Jimny, which is the sweetest thing. And that's what they added to the game. This week in the real world, we have the Rolex 24 at Daytona International Speedway in Florida. It's one of the pinnacle endurance races in the world. They run for 24 hours, as the name suggests. And it's America's Super Bowl when it comes to motor racing outside of the Indy 500. This would have been the perfect time to drop an endurance event in the game with the cars, which are actually going to compete on the actual circuit this the weekend. But for some reason, the team at Polyphony Digital have forgotten everything that made GT a special franchise to the people who were invested in their single player portion. And I get there's a fraction of the player base who are all about racing online and try hard and all the rest of it. More power to you. But it's just so disappointing to see where they've taken the game. And the thing I'd love to do most is to see what they do with the feedback that is given to them. Obviously, there's lots of hubbub around various forums and online and social media and whatnot about, oh, this is terrible, this is the worst update so far, and all the rest of it. What are they actually doing with this information? Do they just not see it? Do the heads of the studio, like Kazunori Yamauchi, do they come across it and just file it away and say, oh, I've got a vision and we're going to stick to it? I would just love to know what they're doing and what their plan is, and if they have a plan, because at the moment it just doesn't seem like they do. And as to my earlier point, the game no longer respects the time that you're supposed to put into it to complete all the races and all the rest of it, because what they're putting into the game is trash at the moment.
Wow,
and now I'm going to step off my soapbox.
Put the microphone down.
Yes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I love these Gran Turismo 7 updates that we get from you. They're so wholesome.
I want to do another positive one. I want to come to you and say it's brilliant. They've added so many decent endurance races like they promised 2 years ago, but they haven't.
We're back, baby.
Exactly.
No, I played Gran Turismo 1. That was a long time ago.
That was a very good game.
I made the suspension all the way up, so when you went around corners, the cars went, woo, and it was it was really funny. But never won any races though. Well, weird how that works.
I mean, there may have been a reason for that.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on
it.
Yeah. I played a game that you liked though.
I sure do.
Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Ages on my Switch.
Hell
online.
Yes.
We were talking about it in the big group chat, and I said like I'm in awe of the dungeons design in this game. Like, it came out in 2001 on the Game Boy, and like I'm playing it in 2024, and like the dungeons are still so like fucking good. Like to explore, like it's like peeling the layers off, where it's like you get in there and it's like cool. You've got to find your way to get the next thing.
Gotta find the map. Then
yeah. No, you got to find the next like a power up ability item, whatever. And like just like peeling away the layers of the dungeon and being like, okay, I can go this way, and then I found a key, cool, I can unlock this door, and then I've got to solve this puzzle, and then oh shit, this thing's trying to kill me, and like that loop inside those dungeons was like, fuck, this game came out like 20 years ago, and it nails it so hard even now. And I was just like having so much fun with it. Like, I'm not so good at the rhythm stuff. You have to do like dances and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay. It's based on sound. Oh no, I'm so screwed.
Oh no.
There's no button prompts. This one, but no, like, I mean, I haven't played. I think this might be my first 2D Zelda. Like Pokemon didn't turn up, and I was like, oh, I've got Game Boy games. Let's see what Game Boy games I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, Zelda, cool. I saw Pokemon, and it was like, and it was the trading card game. And I was like, oh. Keep scrolling.
Well, one day they'll bring Red and Blue over, but it's not this day.
But no, this was a lot of fun. Like, just every new thing that I encountered, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is cool. This is awesome. Jumping was the only thing I had a problem with.
Yes.
Because I think it like eats inputs a bit. But I did have to stop because I got to dungeon 6, I think. And the game gives you a power up that lets you swim like deep underwater, which was fine. It's a 2D game, whatever. But like it changes the controls.
It does
completely. So you can't swim by holding the D-pad. You have to mash the D-pad. So I got to the boss of the last dungeon, and it was like, oh, I have to mash the D-pad to move while also like pushing the buttons on the other side. And it's like trying to pat, you try to pat your belly and rub your head at the same time. That's the wrong way around. And I can't do that. So I was trying to do this boss, and I was just like, and I was just pushing all the wrong buttons.
This is why we need an Oracle remake in the new Link's Awakening engine.
I was like, why didn't you change the controls on me, man? Like, but yeah, I tried so much. Like, it's a testament to how much I was enjoying the game that I tried for so long to get past this boss. I tried just face tanking it and seeing if I could just tank it, and I couldn't. Like, if I could just get past this boss, I can get past the next area. But no, it was such a fun experience. Music slaps as well.
I highly recommend you check out the Link's Awakening remake. It is so good, and it really distills the fun of those isometric 2D Zeldas. And yeah, it's so beautiful, even running on the Switch kind of thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if you pick up Oracle of Seasons and see if you can just pick up there, or whether you come back to this game. But yeah, yay for more Legend of Zelda.
I'm not like, this isn't the end of my Legend of Zelda journey.
Yes.
Might be a pause. Couple of big games in the next couple of months. That.
Oh yeah, and you still got Persona to be getting on with as well. So
that icon sits on my PlayStation home screen and it just looks at me every time I open my PlayStation.
And when you hover over it, that beat hits you. It's like, ooh, yeah.
I've been going on to YouTube mostly, so I just scroll up, but I still see it.
Yeah.
Little red boy sitting there. I'll finish it. I've played like 5 games. Because I do the thing I was talking about when we were talking about backlogs. Where it's like, I've been like tracking, like, where is it? Where the hell is it? There it is. Yeah, I've got like how long it took, when I started, when I finished it, did I complete it? And then I just write little notes about it, each game. And I've done 5 games since I started tracking this, like, less than a month ago, I have to say.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, quick last one from me. I picked up The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered for £10 to port over my save and get all the trophies and the platinum and whatnot. They've added an 80 skin for Abby, and it's amazing. So go check that out if that's your bag.
I don't know why anyone would put themselves through that game twice.
I have it. I have it. I have The Last of Us. I haven't touched it yet. It's on the back burner for the time being.
Not because I think it's a bad game. Sorry, I should clarify.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah. Because it's just an emotional wrecking ball. And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. Like, I saw it on the PlayStation Store, and I was like, just shaking my head.
Not
No,
not today.
not today. Hey Vitz,
Hello.
do you want to tell me and Moody what the fuck Palworld is?
Cool. So, Palworld is this new game which has literally taken the world by storm. I think as of time of recording, it is sold over 7 million copies on Steam. It is available on Xbox Game Pass as well. It's a survival game with monsters which sometimes fit in your pocket if they fit in not Pokeballs. Yes,
Would you call them pocket monsters, perhaps?
you know what? There is an argument to suggest they are pocket monsters in more ways than one. Yeah, so it's a mashup. I know going into it that people dub this Pokemon with guns. I think what a more accurate description is Ark Survival or like Conan Exiles cross Pokemon. Cross Pokemon is more than just a phrase because there's a lot of hoo-ha around this game. A lot of hubbub about whether the developer has straight up plagiarized designs of actual Pokemon, so much so that the Pokemon Company actually released a statement today.
I did see that.
Yeah. But yeah, so the survival aspect is very much taking elements from Ark Survival, and you're there and you're leveling up and you're putting your points into various different engrams to unlock different abilities and being able to build structures and whatnot. And the core mechanic of the game is that you go out and you enslave these creatures, much like you do in the Pokemon games, and then you can have them do manual labor for you. You can have them defend your base. You can have them fight for you, and then you can arm them with weapons, guns, RPGs, whatever you want. Yeah, and I think so a lot of the discourse around this game is with the developer and some of their previous titles, and the activity of their CEO, who is huge on AI and is has a cryptocurrency business on the side and is also involved in NFTs in some way or form, which is a number of red flags.
Well, it's never just one. It's always all three.
That's it. It's the Triforce of bad news. Yeah, so officially there isn't any smoking gun to say that they have stolen assets and all the rest of it. However, I would challenge anyone to look at this video game and not see the Pokemon that they allegedly may be based on. I understand, obviously, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are huge companies. It probably takes them some time to turn their ship around to look at this breakout success and say, hang on a sec, do we have a legal case now? But then, on the other hand, if they had a case, then maybe they would have done this when the trailer first came out, like 2 years ago, to say, hey, well, you can't be doing this. That's clearly a Pikachu you got in that game, kind of thing. Yeah, it's very much an overnight sensation. I think it's caught the developers off guard. An anecdote I heard was they tried putting PvP in the game, and it turns out that it's harder than they thought it was. So I'm not sure where that notion came from. That it was just going to be easy. It's just a toggle switch, right? PvP on. There you go.
Yeah, that's how game development works. You just go into the game editor and you check the box that says PvP, and then you just hit save. That's how game dev works, right, Moody?
No comment.
Oh, go on.
No. So the statement that came out from the Pokemon Company was very, very interesting. A line that I wanted to pull out, and of course this is out of context and all the rest of it because I'm not reading the whole statement. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon and its world, and work to bring the world together through Pokemon in the future. I am all for the Pokemon Company going after Palworld and their creators for plagiarism, for alleged use of AI, and all the other nefarious stuff that they may or may not be doing. The notion of the Pokemon Company saying that they cherish and nurture their Pokemon and their creations, when we see Game Freak and the other teams within the Pokemon company producing titles which are critically panned for their technical prowess. And we see them releasing games on a frequent cycle, and we have games which run poorly, which look drab. I'm talking about like titles like Legends Arceus, and I know all these things are going to get the Pokemon fans like grabbing all their pitchforks and torches and what have you.
I've got my pitchfork.
Exactly.
I don't have any. Hold on, I've got a fidget spinner.
The other thing that the statement struck me as Pokemon trying to be holier than thou, and in many ways they are kind of thing. If they're taking
Say it to her.
if they're taking, if they're creating,
Say it to him.
oh lord, if they're taking original designs and making it their own, and I know there's a lot of discourse of saying, well, Pokemon is a derivative of Dragon Quest and the monsters that they made and all the rest of it. I'm not saying whether that's true or false. What I am saying is you do some shady stuff in Pokemon too. So you are going out, you're enslaving these creatures, you are forcing them to effectively dogfight for real cash money. When they've expended their usefulness, apparently you can turn them into food. I understand Scarlet and Violet, or maybe the ones beforehand, Sword and Shield, they came out with, somehow there were 151 Pokemon curries, and nobody knows where the meat products is coming from them. Just nobody knows. So what I'm saying is, for sure, go after these people for plagiarizing your work, but come on now. You've got these enslavement and all the bad stuff that these games are known for in your game as well.
Yeah. yeah. There's no doubt about that. That end statement part was pretty ridiculous and silly over at the end of the day. They're only going for him because it's a big hit. If this wasn't a big hit, they wouldn't give a fuck. I honestly believe that.
Someone made a Pokemon mod for the game, which essentially put all the skins in. And Nintendo axed that straight away.
Yeah. If this was not massive, they wouldn't give a flying hoot whatsoever.
Well,
but because it's become massive enough.
Yeah.
The only quote unquote positive that can come out from a title like this, if it is involved with stealing artwork and all the rest of it, obviously that's for legals to decide and whatnot, is I hope that it just gives Game Freak a kick at the butt. To either go back to the leadership there and say, okay, we see by the number of the sales of this that there is a demand for a game which essentially looks a lot prettier than mainline Pokemon titles or even spin-off titles, and has a different style of, or people want a Pokemon survival game, and let's actually put some effort in and increase the budgets and maybe the team size and all the rest of it to deliver a better product, because I think Pokemon fans deserve better, but they've been conditioned in such a way of, oh well, this is what we get, and Game Freak doesn't really take on feedback unless something is fundamentally broken. So that's the only positive I can see coming out of the situation. But for the people behind Palworld, if they're not Pocket Pair, if they're not doing any shady stuff, then more power to you.
The Game Freak ain't gonna do anything when it comes to their games or anything like that. They're just like, hey, we released Scarlet and Violet. That was a broken fucking mess. You made it the best-selling Pokemon game out there, guys. Cheers.
Peace.
Yeah. Oh wait, you love Pokemon Arceus? Great. That was a bit of a broken mess, not compared to Scarlet and Violet, but it was still a bit broken in certain ways. Yeah. And gobbled that right up, and it was just like,
thanks for the money, gamers. Peace.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Pokemon is the biggest brand in the world by a long, long way. And obviously most of that is driven by merch sales and all the rest of it. But I think if you have...
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
If you have the most powerful brand in the world, you have the resources to develop better products than what you're delivering. That's my salient point that I'm trying to get across in many, many more words.
My hope is that right now is that, so they were very much dictated to the speed of the anime.
Yes.
Of Ash Ketchum and everything. So every time he went to a new region, they had to have the game out ready to go, blah, blah, blah. No ifs, ands, ons, or buts or whatsoever. Ash is not in there anymore. This is a brand new thing. They're doing a whole new thing with these new characters, which I haven't started to watch it. I have to have a look at that. And I don't even know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know, will these new characters go on to the next region, which I'm going off how the normal timeline is, the next generation's next year.
Right.
Which will be bonkers by then. But my hope is like that the rumors are it's like they're gonna do a black and white remake this year. And hopefully because of how they're dictating the anime now, then maybe how loose the anime is now. Maybe they aren't in a
timeline kind of thing.
tied. Yeah, they don't have to stick to that timeline as much now, and they maybe can be a little bit freer, and then maybe say, oh no, we're going to push it to 2026. That gives us more time and everything. There's no doubt about what's going to help even more is the more powerful console that's coming within the next 18 months, give or take. I still say this shit. Better with Metroid Prime, please.
Mario.
No, just Metroid Prime, please. But yeah, it's. I hope. Yeah, no doubt about it. I would love to see that they release a game that's well received, it's not broken, and people can enjoy it and everything and whatnot. But like Amy knows herself, like I was so excited for Scarlet and Violet. But the trailers were just like, oh my god. Like the first trailer I was okay with because it was like, this is still like 8 months away, blah, blah, blah. I'm okay with it. I can get away with this. And they only showed really the new starters anyway. And then they got closer and closer. And it was just like, oh no. And yeah.
I might be new around these parts, but no, I mean, the worst part is Pokemon Violet is a really good game. It just runs
That's
terribly.
what makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worse, is that it is actually a really good game.
Yeah,
It just runs like shit. And for me, it's for me, it's like, it's a no-no.
Yeah.
Unless it's very hard for me to get on board with a game that's just stuttering along.
Yeah,
runs
I
that
mean,
badly.
it is bad. But I don't know, like, because obviously, like, a lot of the discourse around Palworld outside of the potential AI use or the plagiarism is like a lot of people thinking, oh, but bizarrely, seeing takes, which is boils down to, oh, maybe this will give Game Freak the kick on the backside
they need.
and it's like, but I get the technical issues with the last game were a big problem, and I would like them to work on that for the next one. But like the game was really good. I don't understand, like, and maybe it's just because I haven't been around the franchise for 20, 30 years, and like I just jumped into it last year. But like I don't get it. The game is awesome.
Well, Shield and Sword, like as much as I enjoy it, and like I'm mostly just going like I'm going in to get my team and I'm going to go become the champion type of thing. I don't really care much about the story, but the story was crap in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Fair enough.
It wasn't the best and everything. But my like Scarlet and Violet, yeah, it's really really good, and they changed a lot up in that game. That's the thing about it. Like if they just held it for a year, held it to the 2020 whenever it was when this bugger came out, they just held it to that an extra year. We would be screaming to the tops like, oh my god, a fantastic Pokemon game. You know, like push the Scarlet and Violet all the way to the next year, and like Arceus could have literally, instead of coming out in January, could have gone the fall of that year because they would have had all that time to polish it as well. And it's just like, yeah, nah. We'll see. We'll see what Black and White remake looks like, if that is true that it is this year.
Yeah, for me, the biggest crime that Pocket Pair has done with Palworld that we know about is not coming out with an absolute banger of a song to come out with this game. We need something that goes hard as bug snacks when it comes to this game, and there just isn't one.
Oh, they needed the good. They had a perfect plagiarized song out there. All they had to do is just find a plagiarized version of "I'm gonna be the very best," and then boom, there you go.
I'm gonna be the number one. There you go. See?
Yes.
It's easy.
No one ever was.
No one has done before.
To shoot them is my real test.
Yeah,
to
like,
bullseye them in the head.
From my perspective, the biggest crime that Pocket Pair have done that we know about is making me have to fucking know about Palworld, because like, full respect to all the people that enjoy Palworld, like nothing about this game interested me before it came out. So the fact that I've had so much of it flashed in front of my face is annoying. Like, I laughed, the Pokemon with guns trailer, and then it was like, oh, it's a survival game, and I was like, cool. And delete that from my head and not think about it, because that's just not my kind of game.
I have a thought that's been brewing for a little while up in the back of my head, and I need to flesh that out. Maybe in an essay form coming soon. Whether the survival genre appeals more to a certain type of people. I'm not going to expand more than that, and I'll leave you on a
you
mysterious
don't want to spoil your
tangent.
own video.
Yeah, 100%. But it's whether people who have gone through their people or their families and their ancestry has gone through certain life events, whether they have more of an aversion to these type of games than other people. It's something that I'm just percolating at the moment, but we'll see what if I can flesh that out in some form.
Go for it. I mean, if only there was some way you could post that, maybe in some sort of video form. Sure, we'll find somewhere.
There you go.
But yeah, no, Palworld. It's a hell of, I was telling you, I was telling you though, like, there was a hell of an experience to just like disconnect completely from GD, just from games for a week, and then be like, after GDQ, just go, all right, let's see what's going on in video games for the past week. Hey, what's this game everybody's been talking about?
Exactly. It's definitely the meme from Community of Troy walking in with all the pizzas and everything's on fire.
I left for a week.
That's it.
The fuck did you do?
But yeah, to all you like circa 8 million people who've got Palworld, if you're enjoying it, then more power to you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but if they are like stealing stuff and plagiarizing stuff, then obviously do with that information what you will.
Yeah, then we will have a different discussion on this podcast.
Yes,
and I'll be even more annoyed that I have to think about Palworld. I'll be like, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
If they actually have broken laws and everything like that, play it as long as you can, guys, because Nintendo will try and take that down.
Yeah, I feel like they've plagiarized Pokemon designs or like used AI in any way. It's like it's a whole different. Like it's fun. It's all fun and games to talk about it now, but like, if any of those things actually happened, it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a different conversation.
Yeah, so there was something on social media about someone comparing the 3D models from Scarlet and Violet to the 3D models used in Palworld kind of thing. And then it came out that they may have just doctored that footage or the assets that they were putting together just to get some clout kind of thing. And
I fucking hate that, man. It's just like, because you see it sometimes, like, like if Palworld has plagiarized Pokemon models, like, then all right, cool, like they've done it and we'll find out and we'll have a whole thing about it, but don't make shit up, man. Because that just makes it harder. Because if they have done it, like, if they have actually done it and proof comes out that they've done it, it's going to be harder to get people to believe the proof because the first guy lied about it. Like, don't do that shit, man. Don't exaggerate things like to make it sound worse than they are or whatever. Just fucking.
Yeah, there's no need for you to be the main character
if
of
you
social
don't
media
like
this
Palworld,
week.
just fucking ignore it. That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
But that grinds me a bit. Like, I see it all the time. Like, people always exaggerating stuff on social media to get clout or whatever. But Palworld. I mean, it fits. Like, you could just plagiarize the Bugsack sound theme tune.
Hey, we don't do that to KK Benito.
No.
We don't do the Queen like that.
It's a good game, Bugsnax. Really enjoyed it.
Hey, Bugsack was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
That game was all different kinds of messed up too.
Yeah, it was all fucked up. I called it though. It's like, this ain't just some cute fucking game. This is some fucked up shit. I'm telling you. Then you get the end and you're like, yeah, I was right.
The one Strabby that got away.
Yeah. Cool. Let's we're on that cusp where it's like, let's just go to the closer. Let's just close this podcast out. Let's talk about a bit an old little game that we play called OpenCritic Head-To-Head. It's back. New Game Plus. I wrote in the thing. New Game Plus, baby.
I'm reading it right now.
We picked up a new party member, And now, because we've hit New Game Plus, now we get to use that party member for the whole run. It's great. That analogy almost got away from me, but I think I said it.
Yeah.
This is a game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever gets as closest to the score at the time of recording gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Obviously, we didn't. This is the first game of the new year. Before we jump into guessing this week's games, though, the games that we would have guessed last week had we been doing this last week, Tekken 8, and Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, both got a 90. I don't know if we wanted to comment on that. So I think it's pretty cool.
I wouldn't have guessed those numbers, but yeah, amazing results for the teams there.
Yeah, like the hard work pays off well and everything. Like, what a start to the year.
Yeah.
You think about it, I'm gonna throw in say Prince of Persia, Prince of Persia was 85, 86 or something like that. So it's 3 bangers already, which is really, really good. And and hopefully we'll be talking about them soon, of our thoughts on it soon enough. And yeah,
well, we'll
see what happens.
I don't think we got a fighting game aficionado on staff on call. But yeah, definitely looking forward
5
to
minutes.
Like
I'm almost done.
And it was really good to see it get the high score after beating the drummer by for a while. But Russ got it in his team, so yeah. I tell you what, 90 though. I mean, as we joked about it getting more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it set itself up quite well for that to actually come true. So we'll see what happens. But no, 2 good scores, 2 good games. Go play them if you can. This week though, is we're going places. So the first game we're going to try and guess the OpenCritic average of is Persona 3 Reload, which is the remake of Persona 3.
Sure is.
Didn't know that.
Grab your revoker and let's get wild.
It's another 100+ hour JRPG that Vitz can tell me to play whenever I ask him for a recommendation for a 5-hour game.
You're never going to live that down, are you?
No, I'm not.
Good.
He never does. She never lets anyone live it down.
The progression was, oh, have you played Spider-Man Miles Morales? And I was like, yeah, play that. And then it went from that to, you should play Persona.
Hey, I wasn't wrong.
I'm still playing it.
There you go.
You're the schmuck who started to play it.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Vitz, what do you think Persona 3 Reload is going to get on OpenCritic?
I think it's going to get a 93.
Big swing. 93. There it is.
I'm hoping that because I also have this in the draft.
I hope it gets 1. Moody, what do you think? What do you think Persona 3 Reload is going to get?
90.
90.
Start the year with 3 90s.
There you go. Can you imagine?
And they'll be all forgotten by the end of the year.
Not
Aim
by
what
me.
you're thinking.
Oh, 88 never fails. That's a meme.
That's an interesting spread. That's an interesting spread.
Yeah.
That's a meme we've been running with on this podcast for years. 88 never fails. It always fails.
Speaking of games that you're going to fail.
But except that 1 year where it just never
that 1 year
fails.
where it just seemed to never fail. I'll play Reload at some point in the next decade.
Available on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
it's on Game Pass. So you don't have to complain about me not buying it.
You're not going to play it anyway. You're playing football.
I was going to.
Oh yeah, sure. I believe you.
Leave me alone.
No, you'll be playing the next game, obviously. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Can I be real with you though? There is a sick part of me that does want to rent this and have a bash on it.
Go for it.
I feel bad, man. For the dead.
Do you reckon this is going to make you feel better? Hey?
No, I mean I feel bad for the developers of Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Aye.
Oi is right.
Warner Brothers are going to do Warner Brothers things, eh?
Delay it, hopefully. All right, Vitz, what do you think Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to have on OpenCritic? Yeah.
I'm going to say 82. I think critics will say that it's competent, but it's not fun. So they can't really ding it too hard, but I can see some outlets giving it really high scores because it'll tell a story about the Justice League and all the rest of it, and they'll get hyped on that, but then the game will just come across as generic. And I'm still not clear whether King Shark can fly normally, or is just in this game where everybody can zip around and shoot all the purple generic glowy bits. Who knows?
I'm not massively into my DC lore, so I don't know much about King Shark. I know he doesn't have a minigun.
We'll find out.
I know that's not usually a thing you can find King Shark with, because why the fuck would a shark need a minigun? But what do I know?
Exactly.
Moody, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. What are you thinking?
Go for the meme, 69.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Amy was going to go for that.
No, I actually wasn't. I had a different number in mind anyway. I thought about it. Don't get me wrong. I did think about it. Sometimes you got a meme. I am going to. Actually, I got two numbers.
Big window to shoot in. Yeah.
Who says I'm going aiming for the window? Some of us remember Redfall. Not an Xbox exclusive though, so I can add some points.
There you go.
I mean, the fact that IGN came out with a preview, I mean, it was not a greatly written preview, but even they came out and said, I didn't like the game. I mean, that's telling.
Well, yeah, but that's Destin. Like,
oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. The preview was ridiculous on all sorts of levels. Like, it opened. I mean, I don't mean to just drag one person, but the fact that it opened with, "Oh man, it looks like you're gonna kill the Justice League in this game, and that sucks." Like, maybe play a different video game.
The title says "Kill the fucking Justice League, you muppet."
I'm trying to decide if critics are going to be kinder to it or not. Is it going to get the Redfall treatment, or is it going to get like a kinder treatment? How buggy is this game going to be when it comes out?
Well, if you wanted to have the Redfall treatment, then the only review you want to get is Snowbike Mike's.
No, I don't want it to get the Redfall. I'm asking if it will.
3 out of 5.
I mean, this is probably going to be Snowbike Mike's Game of the Year. So, like,
fuck yes, it's going to be his Game of the Year. You know it is.
Well, no, sorry, Palworld is going to be that. He's loving it.
62.
Nice.
I think that, yeah. Sometimes I feel like games get momentum before they come out. Then sometimes they go lower than they should on Metacritic, OpenCritic, like average things, and sometimes they go higher than maybe they should. Hype and whatever the opposite of hype is.
I know what you're getting at, but I can't think of the word either.
You can ride that wave, but it goes both ways.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll go 62. 20 point difference between. That's a big
I feel silly about my 82 now, but it's locked in. So let's see where it plays.
If this game even gets decent reviews, you're sitting pretty, because it is just 1 point for the closest score.
That's true. Yeah.
And you've got the high ground, like Obi-Wan. So, how could you fail? Oh man, both my scores this week are guesses are the lowest. I'm gonna have to re-find my positivity again next week. That's gonna do it. Episode 387 of the Words About Games podcast. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, whatever you're doing, however you're spending it. Do something fun just for yourself.
Yeah, and check in on those around you.
And yeah, check in on those around you. It's tough times. Moody, would you like to close us out with some Moodyisms. I'm going to call it this year. I'm going to call them Moodyisms.
All right. Howdy doodle everyone. You know what it is. It's time to take care of yourself. It's the new year. This is the year where we win. This is the year where you win. Why? Because you're fucking awesome. Remember, vote the Tories out. That's the year. This is the year. Vote the fucking Tories out. I don't care whoever you vote. Oh, actually, don't vote for UKIP or the other ones, Reform and anything like that. Just don't vote for anyone who's an asshole. Okay, that really doesn't help me.
That doesn't narrow the window.
Don't vote for the Tories. Vote for the other Tories.
But anyway,
for the
take care of yourself. This is a year you take care of yourself. Tell your parents you love them. Tell your family you love them. Just have a fabulous day. Have a fabulous year because this is your year. Kick ass. Have fun. Peace out.
Peace out.